Shout out to G-Man Boxing. Where's the piss bottle? It's over there.
Alright, so yesterday obviously we had the announcement that Dillian Whyte, the WBC, Tyson Fury, all that jazz, they're basically giving them until January the 11th to negotiate a deal, otherwise it goes to purse bids. It's going to be 80-20 in Tyson Fury's favour. Obviously it could have been 55-45, but the WBC were able to kind of use their own discretion to decide on the split, which it is what it is. And when I done that video at the time, that news is just broken. I kind of thought to myself, they really are making Dillian Whyte jump through some hoops here, aren't they? They really aren't making it easy for him. They're really doing everything in their power to kind of almost, just put cake in his face, basically, almost. But subsequently, after making that video, I had a phone call, I had a chat with Mark from Unrivaled Boxing. There's the channel on screen. Excellent channel, and Mark is a great guy as well. He really is. Really great guy, good boxing brain. And me and him had a chat, and he touched on some great points. He gave me the okay to use these in the video. I'm not going to take the credit for coming up with these. The majority of these were on Mark's idea. And his frame of thinking is that this might actually work out in Dillian Whyte's favour if it does go to a purse bid. And we kind of discussed on it, and we kind of talked about the pros and the cons of this. And by the end, there was some great points that were made. I'm going to talk about them now. So let's look at it like this, right? So we're Bob Arum, okay? And this goes to a purse bid. Now, Tyson Fury, I believe this is his last fight on his current deal with Top Rank ESPN. Alright? So, if Bob Arum is going to go to a bidding war with Eddie Hearn in the zone, right, he's going to want to put up serious amount of money. Is he really going to want to do that? Bear in mind, he'll want this fight to take place in the States. Okay? Now, as we all know, the United States at this minute in time is not exactly the most straightforward country to get into. It has to be. It's not straightforward unless you're an MP or you have a business exemption. It's pretty difficult to get into the US. And that's the rules, by the way. If you're an MP or you have a business exemption, it's straightforward. If not, you have to go through a few hoops. Right? So if they're doing this fight, all British fight, big British fight, they're doing this with saying Vegas, it's not going to be exactly the most straightforward to get to. Okay? So you got to bear that in mind. Now, Bob Arum, as I said, last fight with Tyson Fury, he may renegotiate a new deal, we'll wait and see. But as it stands, this will be his last fight if it's on ESPN Top Rank, right? Dillian Whyte, I'm sure, would fight anywhere in order to get that title shot. But as I said, would he be willing to put up X amount of money, for a fight between two British fighters in America, potentially Fury's last fight with him under his current deal anyway? And then God knows what happens after. How much money would the show make, etc., etc. Right? Whereas if you're Eddie Hearn and you're the zone, you've got deeper pockets, you know that. Eddie Hearn, would he put up, say, 30 mil for the fight? If he puts up 30 mil, Dillian Whyte would be entitled to 20%, which would if my maths is right, be about 6 million. Now, I know his original asking price was 10 million. Would he compromise on that for 6 million? I suspect he probably would. It's still a career high payday for Dillian Whyte, whatever way you look at it. 6 million is more than the 4 million I think it was his previous highest payday. So it's still more than that, right? And Eddie Hearn will obviously do this fight in the UK. So it would be in the UK, be easy to get to. It's easy for me to get to. It's easy for everyone to get to. Certainly in kind of Ireland and the UK, it's easy enough to get to. It would do it in Old Trafford, more than likely. That would definitely be full. So you'd have Fury as a homecoming. You'd have Dillian Whyte, all British clash, world heavyweight title. And the zone would want that. I'll tell you why. The zone would want that because there's no guarantee they'll get the Usyk Joshua rematch, because Joshua obviously is still working with Sky. Sky could do that rematch because Joshua is with Eddie Hearn, but he still has the Sky deal. Okay, so there's a good chance that rematch might fall on Sky. In which case, this is a good, consolation prize for the zone. It's an excellent consolation prize. They might want to put that on pay-per-view. Either way, it will definitely drive subscriptions up because it's a massive fight. It is. Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte. Homecoming fight for Tyson Fury. Defenders world heavyweight title against Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is known to the public as well. Big fight. Big fight for the zone. They will want that. If you're Bob Arum, right, that's a win. Now, it's a bit of a gamble, but it is a win if it comes true. Because, as far as I'm aware, because Tyson Fury will be fighting on the zone under Matchroom, not signed with Matchroom, but be a Matchroom card, that would technically mean that Bob Arum will still have Tyson Fury for another fight after that. With ESPN, with Top Rank, which he can then, providing Tyson Fury wins, which I think he will, it will mean then that he'll potentially be able to fight for undisputed in his next fight, and it may very well be on ESPN Top Rank. And that will close off Tyson Fury's deal with Top Rank if he decides to carry on, whatever, I don't know. But that's how it's looking there, right? There was other things I was meant to touch on and it's kind of slipped my mind. Oh yes, Dillian Whyte would be happy because A, it's in the UK. He's not getting the 10 million, but he's getting more than he would have made prior. It's going to be on his promoter's show. So it's going to be on DAZN, where he is, although he be fighting in Manchester in Fury's hometown, it's a DAZN show. He would be the DAZN fighter, right? If you had Howard Foster as a judge, you see what I'm getting at here, he'd be 2 rounds up before the first bell's even gone, because you know what Howard Foster is like. Oh, Eddie. You know, that sort of way? So it'd be pretty interesting in that regard. You know, Bob Arum would still get money from Tyson Fury being the promoter, so he'll get paid, you know, whatever, and Fury would get however much would he get? 10%, you get a fair bit. You know, my maths is not the best, but you get a fair bit of that as well with Bob Arum, as would Eddie Hearn. So for me, from the outside looking in, it could actually work out well for Dillian Whyte, because Dillian Whyte would have the fight in the UK, albeit in Tyson Fury's hometown, more than likely anyway. They'd probably put it in Manchester, I would imagine anyway. But he get a career high payday, he gets his title shot, it's on his network, on his platform, on his promoter show. That, if Dillian Whyte and Fury is an interesting fight, I would pick Tyson Fury to win. I would edge him as favourite, probably to stop Dillian Whyte. But if he doesn't, if maybe he stays in the pocket too long, walks into a hook from Dillian Whyte, gets slowed down by body shots, and it ends up being a much tougher fight than we expect, could we see a scorecard maybe giving it to Dillian Whyte? Maybe 2 giving it to Dillian Whyte, 1 to Fury. Could we see a dodgy scorecard or 2? I wouldn't be shocked. You know? So you got to look at it like that, and credit to Mark for coming up with a lot of them. You know, it really did make me think. And when I say it like that, it does kind of make sense to go down the purse bid route, doesn't it? Now, like I said, it's just a quick video. Let me know your thoughts. Are we off completely with what we're saying? Do you think that no, Dillian Whyte is just they've done him dirt, the WBC, and you know, we be crooks? Or do you think that actually, because Eddie Hearn is a businessman, like let's we forget, Eddie Hearn is more business. Like when you're talking about Frank Warren is all about boxing. Eddie Hearn, although he's about boxing, a lot more about business. You know, what makes sense financially, what makes sense to, you know, have a fight here, have a fight, you know what I mean? So it's an interesting one. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you could, please smash the like button, hit subscribe, go over and have a look at Mark's channel as well, and hit subscribe there as well if you could. For now, lads and lassies, I'll talk to you. Have a good new year if I don't talk to you before then. Peace.